And welcome, everyone, to quite possibly, actually it's not going to be quite possibly, it will be the very last episode of Fate Extra. It has been a wild ride, for sure. So, let's go ahead and see what awaits us. Not much saying there, huh? After winning the fight, I returned to the now lifeless school. Almost all the people are gone. I'm the only master. I'm the last living human in this tournament. If human is the right word. Even all the NPCs that used to be here are now gone. There's no more use for them. The Holy Grail War ends here. Only the master and servant who won the Holy Grail War remain. Plus, one system anomaly. In any case, the path to the Holy Grail will open for the winner. Where could it be? While thinking about how annoying looking for it would be. Congratulations! You have crushed the dreams of all other magi. That is to say, you have won. The Holy Grail War ends here. A voice echoes through the speakers. It's a voice I've heard before. It was the voice I heard when I met my servant at the very end of the prelims. It's the god created by the Holy Grail War system. It must be based on a real person too. The path to the Holy Grail is open to you, Victor. Pass through the door to the battlefield once more. I still don't have any answers. Maybe they'll come once I get to the Holy Grail. It almost looked like we were standing on a desk. Oh, it's so blue in here. So yeah, this is absolutely going to be the final episode. We're in the epilogue. Also, this time 100% less Pokemon audio. I apologize for the beginning of that. Or for all of pretty much last week's episodes, except for the third one. I don't know if it was in the third one or not. I didn't hear it, but I didn't go through the full video trying to like nitpick and listen. Because it's quieter for me when I like hear it. The time has finally come to leave the Seraph and head to the core of the moon cell. I shall miss this place, even this room, but it can't be helped. Life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I recommend you make your final goodbyes now. So, but yeah, this is it. I don't know how long this episode's gonna be. It's going up on Monday though. I've also been instructed to talk to Kodomine. He's got 2 conversations. I don't know if they're a save point conversation or what. We'll just have to wing it. She said all the NPCs are gone. Sharon Tips is gone. Oh boy, everyone's gone. Well, that's unfortunate. Is Ren up on the rooftop? Probably not. Is Ren still here? She's not on the rooftop if she is. But yeah, we still have to figure out how to get out of here. Out of this trapped school. It's kind of ominous how like blue it is. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of the blueness. Oh, well there's Kodomine. Oh, there's a Ren. Aren't you the eager student, even though you no longer have a need of a teacher? Or are you that fond of me? No, I'm not. In fact, I'm pretty done with this bitter priest. But like it or not, he's always been instrumental to my training and advancement. Even though he's nothing more than an AI, I wanted to say goodbye. You are a good student. Very well. Goodbye. Let me offer you some final advice. It is not brief, but the Holy Grail won't be going anywhere. Advice? What advice could the father have now that the fighting is over? This isn't to guide you through a fight, but to enlighten you about what you will receive shortly. It may be fairly late in the game to ask this, but what do you know of the Holy Grail? I already know the basics of it. It's a supercomputer within the moon, meant to observe, also known as the Moon Cell Automation. Automation, not automotion. It is an archive that has recorded the history of Earth, or rather, mankind, since antiquity. And Magi fought to the death to determine the ownership of it. Ooh, look at Kodomine's face there. It's looking some rough. That is good. for starters. Still, you need to know a few more details. As the last master, you ought to know that crystal is the moon cell. Only in the past century has it become called the Holy Grail. An all-purpose wishing machine. Who decided the moon cell would only observe, I wonder? Forcing other functions upon its preliminary and forcing other functions upon what is primarily an observation device is generally impossible there. But the all-seeing eye is lacking the rest of its head. Though all-seeing, the moon cell is not a god. It obeys the laws of physics like everything else, such as the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Phenomena that are not observed do not exist. By the same token, all things that are seen must be seen, even things that are not generally considered to exist. The moon cell is a very complete database. It records many ifs as well. With such operational power, the moon cell can both elucidate the past and provide foresight. What you are heading towards is the knowledge of the future. A place where every human wish and desire exist. A place to spy upon the further on that terrible knowledge, much like what Laplace envisioned. The moon has no will of its own. Intelligence is a distortion of pure observation after all. But if someone with a will could harness the moon cell, they would see all their wishes granted. The validity of one's motives, or the end of very presence of motive, is inconsequential. All that matters is the winner of the Holy Grail War is strong. Just strength. A normal priest like Kodomine would reduce human struggle to that. Does the moon cell Holy Grail desire strength? Or is that the conclusion reached by whoever created this priest? That is all. Did it help? What all have you been crawling over is nothing more than the moon cell's surface. Go forth, reigning master. Deep in the moon, the ring of fire awaits your answer. I will wait in front of the arena. If you find it hard to leave the moon cell, come find me. Well, we'll talk to Ren in a second here. First things first. Still thinking of dirty thoughts. Hakuno, you champ. Congratulations, Hakuno. It has made me very happy that you kept coming to see me throughout the Holy Grail War, even if I didn't have much of a presence in the game. But if that's the role of the moon cell wished for me, it would be silly to complain. Alright, my parting gift to you will be a lunch. Huh? Please don't make that face. I haven't put anything strange into it. Oh god. BB's already taken over. Alright then, I wish you the best of luck. Sakura Supreme Lunch. Alright. I think we leveled. I can't remember if we leveled or not. Also, I'm curious if Toko and them are still here. Technically, I think they probably should be. Yeah. Alkaline Battery, it's been fun. I still refuse to say your actual name. We don't have anything. We didn't even get it to S. Disappointing. Toko, what do you say? Your fight's over. I see. So it's been an exchange of info. Aren't you the perceptive one? Okay, thanks. So yeah, there is a New Game Plus, and there's like an optional boss to fight. I'm not gonna fight him because this isn't New Game Plus. So there's that. We'll talk to Ren here in a second. Is there anything on these bulletin boards? No. I've never checked any of them. Ren, what do you say? Well, let's go. We've come this far. Let's see it through to the end. She seems no problem with coming with me. I'm not going to object. She's good to have along. Prepare a little more. We're not gonna do that. So, I guess that's kind of like everything. We'll see what Kodomine has. We'll go save in front of the dungeon. Kodomine, the Holy Grail War is ended, and all that remains is to proceed to where the Holy Grail lies. Upon our arrival, something's taking place that we do not understand. There is no reason for the system NPC to know anything more, but with our preparation, we should be fine. The shop and church will be usable. Go if you feel the need. If you want more training, you can feel free to use the arena. It has been reopened. You no longer have to observe the 6-day prep period. Come and go as you please. So will you go to the arena? Not yet. I guess that means we'll go to the arena to, like, go. I guess we'll do, like, one run through. I don't know what the recommended level is. For the final fight, I'm just assuming we're good. But we'll see. I'll go. Very well. If that's the case, I wish you well. Infinite Chimeric Lunar Sea, first floor. This music. Arena level 36. I don't even remember what level we are. Matrix. I was making sure we didn't have anything either. Status, we're 38, so we're 2 levels over. We'll see. We'll just like clear out this map, I guess. Also equip. Go ahead and get this up. And yeah, just while we're kind of clearing out this dungeon here to... Oh, it's this guy. Just to kind of go on, like, what's going to happen for this week because of us finishing this today. This should be going up on Monday. Tuesday, I have a tier list video that's going to go up. Once that goes up... Hey, it's Frogman. I'll see what to put up. I want to try to have a few videos this week. After this, we're going to record Extella. That'll be the next time we play. With Thunderous Applause and Guard, the rest of it. Yeah, we'll start Extella next week. That's the plan. The recording's also going to change to like probably a 5-day. I don't know how I want to do it necessarily because of Extella. The thing about Extella is it's a long game in the aspect of like what it, I guess it is. We don't have anything on this Nephilim either, which is annoying. Might as well, for doing this, go ahead and lend her some applause. Attack, guard, attack, break. And hopefully he doesn't guard here. He didn't. Okay, sweet. But yeah, we'll start Extella next week. I have to make sure recording and everything works. Also, I completely forgot to say this, but we hit over 100 subs. What day was it? It was Wednesday. Yeah, rolling for Oki Dalter's banner. So yeah, we hit that. Pretty monumental, at least for me it is. But as a result, we have we're gonna start on stream. Just to kind of like go on the stream schedule. We're gonna start Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm gonna wait though a little bit, specifically because I want to have the Pokemon DLC is actually coming out the 17th. And I want to do it before we start Shadow. Plus, I'm having issues getting Shadow to work. That's the other like big problem I'm running into. I'm looking at emulator options because I don't have a GameCube anymore. That hurt. If we die here because of this thing, that's gonna be annoying. Boy, that was annoying. Okay, so we're gonna reload there. Good thing we saved. I'm gonna... Yep, go back in. That's what happens when I wasn't paying attention. I was being careless. So, alright, well, I didn't get to... Oh, that's right, I forgot I didn't swap Mystic Codes. Anyways, back to Shadow the Hedgehog. That's gonna start... I'm gonna wait till after we do the Pokemon DLC, though. And like I said, if anyone actually has any ideas on the Dolphin emulator, let me know, because I can't get the ISOs essentially to open. They're not like being recognized, which is kind of a problem. But yeah, that's kind of like the stream schedule. But recording wise, those guys give a lot of experience. Let me not get wrecked here. Shockwave, second strike. But yeah, that's kind of like what's going on. That I might, if you guys want, I could probably put in Clover this week. I haven't actually started recording it with Def today. I'll probably do that after I finish this video, and probably won't even edit this yet. I'll probably record with him some. I'm gonna just attack. Arrogance again. It was the downfall of Gawain. Actually, it was the downfall of me fighting Gawain. It's okay. There's no way we can lose again. Alright. So, I'm going to have to, like, somewhat pay attention and stop just attacking. Quick cut here. Okay, we're back. So, I just cleared out, like, this side of the room. Although I didn't realize that this guy was here. So, I guess we'll clear here out. And I'll pay attention to combat and not just spam attack and not really pay attention, because that was what I was doing. Although I know some people are going to enjoy that being a thing. We're going to just speed up here. I really just want to, like, get one level. Mainly because we're, like, here. I also don't know how long this one is. Attack, break. Guard, attack, break. Get out of here, you. But yeah, also, I guess I should talk about... Oops. Yeah, that's actually fun. Attack. Break. Gouda Gouda 2's going on, so hopefully everybody's having fun with that. Or Gouda Gouda 3, sorry, not 2. I always get the Gouda Goudas, like, mixed up. Get here, you. We'll definitely get a level off this guy alone. But, also, hopefully everyone that wanted Okitan got her. I know, I got her, but at what cost? At what cost indeed? Oh, so close to a level. So very close to a level. That was a level, though. Alright, level 39. Oh, I know what we could do. I forgot. Just to see how big this is. I completely forgot that we have that. I wish I would have used that more. I can't remember when we got it. But it's handy for stuff like that. Oh. It's quite literally just this. Interesting. Nah, we're gonna... Oh, it filled it out for us. Okay. Yeah, return to campus. So, that was fun. We'll go ahead... I guess we're ready. We'll go to the chapel, spin those points real quick. Still didn't get him to, still didn't get Saber to S, but that's okay. First floor. So, I guess. I guess we're ready. We're as ready as we're gonna be. We'll save, and it's time. we start the epilogue. Or the final fight, I guess I should say. Yep. We are ready. Ready as we're gonna be. I probably should have spent money, but that's fine. The entrance to the battleground is still the same dreary elevator. This same elevator travels to the arena, but the display indicates a much greater depth. Once I'm inside, the doors close heavily, and the rectangular box begins to move. Man, wouldn't it be awful if I just left a cliffhanger right here and made this the second part of the episode? Alright, well, we know for a fact we're not going to use Shockwave's second strike here. I wouldn't imagine we would. We'll put this just that way if we need it, we've got it. We're level 39. We're just gonna let Nero talk, by the way. That scared me a little, I'm gonna be honest. And that's why Saber is best girl. Nero is best girl, let me rephrase that. If we stop moving, does she stop talking? Nope. There's no map either. So here's what my goal is for this fight. I am just gonna blast skills. It looks a little gross. I think there's something wrong with the water. It's an incredibly vast room. Actually, a space so cavernous could hardly be called a room. It's also strangely barren, save for the alien object that dominates the center of space. Or center of the space. It resembles a giant floating eye. Though it doesn't seem threatening, it is still somewhat disconcerting. The artifact of alien civilization. The reason for its creation is beyond human comprehension. The core of the moon cell and the base of Seraph. The Holy Grail of the Seven Heavens, responsible for creating the Seven Seas. And in space, where the Holy Grail is enshrined, I can feel a sense of discord and dissonance. In front of the Holy Grail is a jumble of skewered stone pillars, which only adds to the tumultuous atmosphere. and on top of the pile of stones sits the lone figure of a man. He looks to be in his late 20s at most. His expression is blank enough to be totally unmemorable, but as an NPC, he doesn't need to make an...
Yeah, 待っていたよ。おめでとう。君が聖杯戦争の勝者だ。祝祭の一つでもあげたかったが、あいにくここにはそんな機能はなくてね。勝ち抜いた甲斐はないだろうが、私からの拍手だけで勘弁してくれ。でもこれだけは言える。私は誰よりも君を認め、君を称え、君を誇りに思っている。君こそが幾度も繰り返された聖杯戦争の中で最も素晴らしいマスターなのだと。
While he seems friendly, there is something more dangerous about him than any of my other opponents. He's wearing a lab coat. It's a feeling of nothingness. There's something very strange about the man in front of me. There's someone else here. That man has a servant with him. At the same time he mentioned his servant, I can feel Rin tense up as she shoots a glare in his direction. Watch out, Hakuno. That guy isn't an NPC, he's a master. But why would a master be here? The war is over, and only the master left standing should be you. Well, to be absolutely accurate, I could just as easily say that you're a master who shouldn't be here too. How can a master who was defeated still be alive and present in this place? I must look into this later. Well, that is an issue for another day. At least one rule will be still enforced. Only one master may leave. And unfortunately, you are the one who will disappear. I advise you to enjoy what little time you have left. Now that's settled, I'm pretty sure the question on your mind is, what are you, right? A pertinent question, worthy of an answer. Of course, I am both an NPC and a master. To be more accurate, I should say I was. Was? You mean you became the master after being an NPC? That's... She briefly glances my way, her eyes wide with shock. I suppose a more thorough explanation is necessary. The story's kind of long, but please bear with me. First, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Twice H. Peaceman. But please, just call me Twice. Man, why would your first name be Twice, though? Like, really? Twice? I thought you were being a cyber ghost was just an urban legend. But to think it was actually true. Everything I've learned about you paints you as a person who hated war and dedicated to saving lives. This massacre, you, of all people, should detest this war. But considering how you are now, it's... So that's how history sees me. That I detested war. That part is definitely true. I hate war, and will not tolerate its existence in any form. Not even the Haraways are exempt from this fact. However, that truth only scratches the surface of my beliefs. Much like the moon cell, it seems that a single well-known function has erroneously defined my true ideals. It began when I was a student and obsessed with the history of humanity. I will never forget the many shocking realizations I received during the course of my studies. The betrayals that make up history, combined with a severe shell shock, gave it an abnormal hatred of war. Allow me to clarify, by him, I mean Twice Peaceman, and he was, in fact, incredibly ill. When he saw an image depicting war, he was overcome with overwhelming panic attacks. It was almost as if he would get severe heart palpitations and his blood pressure would skyrocket. From that day, he, meaning me, was consumed with unease that became almost painful in its intensity. Even after becoming a scientist, he still risked death to save others because of that unbearable pain. That's the whole of it. What drove him during this time in the mortal coil, was not a sense of righteousness. What drove me was one simple question. Why was I the only one who seemed to hate war? As I said, Twice was ill. There was no reason for him to risk his life so foolishly on the battlefield. Why did I involve myself in war? Was it to understand it better, especially considering the effect war had on me? Even while struggling with those questions, my mortal self still irrationally kept going into battle. And in the year 1999, a horrible neurological disease broke out in a city located in the Far East. Based on the available evidence, the cause of the outbreak was a biological weapon created by terrorists. Twice was called to the city to treat the victims of the attack when he was caught in a major attack himself. He was ambushed. According to the records made available to the public, the death toll was set at 5,000 people. The moon cell puts a real count at 8,200. As you can see, the government underreported the number a tad. I can see the exhaustion in his eyes. He seems to think that his story is more than just an amusing anecdote. Although, it's hard to tell if he was amused by the government's possible cunning or total incompetence. Anyway, that is when the person I patterned after died. Twice ended up becoming one of those 8,200. Something strange. I remember seeing a place where he died as if I was too one of those many victims. I can recall the sight of buildings set aflame, but when I was Twice, it was a scene I had experienced before. It was then that the mortal Twice and the person I was recaptured the recompressed memories of his childhood. In the 1970s, there was a clash of ethnic groups arranged by a major power as a war by proxy. Twice was orphaned in the conflict. The place I remembered was hell. Everything around me was collapsing. Everything fell without a sense of morality and without any acknowledgement of the value of life. And there lies its brilliance. The young Twice must have concluded that life itself was truly a miracle. All that remained of the epiphany I've already told you. Anyway, Twice was adopted and became a doctor. And though I tried to forget the past, that one fundamental truth was burned forever into my soul. Twice despised war more, and it became his intent to kill for itself. I got involved in a war in order to end it. However, at the core of my very being wasn't a denial of the meaning of war. It wasn't that at all. Twice had seen many battlefields, the never-ending hell, the horrific evil perpetuated by humanity. A group of soldiers made to fight against an army many times their size. That was far more experienced and supplied. Forced to flee from guerrillas, a girl of 5 trails on foot through a jungle that a few could hope to survive. Innocent victims of violence who rebuilt their village and their lives without help from anyone. I find that odd. Even though I hated war, I saw a great deal of strength emerge from the conflicts I witnessed. Now that I think of it, the mortal was the same. All of Twice's great works were born of war. The many revelations, the uncounted number of rescues, none would have happened without the hell that is war. Although the mortal me really did was bring back the number of things from the depths of hell. And in the end, I was a victim of a terrorist attack, but as I was dying, it all came back to me. I saw the burned fields of my home and recalled the tenacity that helped me go on, even as everyone else died. Yes, 3 seconds before my heart stopped, I finally received an answer to my question. I was never denial. What drove that Twice repeatedly into hell was because I, who eventually fell victim to violence, can no longer consider war the ultimate folly of mankind. Nothing can be hidden from the moon cell, and it records all it observes, including my final thoughts. As time went on, I was reborn as an NPC based on the record of my mortal life, just like any other NPC here. They may appear human, but are nothing more than puppets playing assigned roles. I was the same, however. You managed to gain self-awareness? But how? And why? Maybe interacting with so many masters, combined with my skills as a spirit hacker, pushed me into a consciousness. More likely, it was just an anomaly born from a single near impossibility. How it happened, I cannot say. However, once I gained true consciousness, the only thing I could do was act as Twice Peaceman would. The dream that I saw as I died, the ideal that existed only in my mind, I now exist only to make it a reality. So what was the dream on the mortal twice saw as he died? Endless war, of course. To see mankind engage in a grand war of mutual extinction. He says this last statement in a matter-of-fact tone. There's no hint of insanity visible from his eyes. Naturally, and with obvious sincerity, he can somewhat utter such a statement of absolute madness. The future has been corrupted. That is the conclusion I've come to after studying the Moon Cell's records. Anyone with a brain can see that the world is doomed. Humankind has long since passed its adolescent stage. Man was still maturing in the 1900s. A balance was struck between penury and prosperity, but it didn't last. The period of immaturity ended, but the golden age that should have followed never occurred. You do realize this, right? What has happened to the planet and its people should have never come to be. The spirit of mankind was stagnated, just as the world has. The future is rotting away like overripe fruits. When that fruit should be at its best, it has fallen to the ground. That's not the way history should be. That is how Ren and Leo described the world, a place of peace, stupefying stagnation, and entropy. Or entropy. But, is war really the answer? Probably not. War is normally not the answer. Because it is the most efficient way for mankind to progress. Stability and stasis only act as preserve as a species. If the objective of modern man is to merely survive, then there is no reason for them to exist. In my previous life, a great many lives and resources were consumed for the sake of convenience. Why? What was the need for such prosperity? Prosperity is just an illusion and exists only for its own sake. I expect that you agree with me. Humans are capricious creatures that must feed on dreams to evolve. The prelims illustrate this truth. In an artificial peace, ignorant aggressors revel in idleness. Humans can only mature after breaking free from their idleness. That seems to be the case for you. And now, ideologies are based on the detritus of an ignoble and forgotten past. That loss can't be overcome. I cannot allow such ideas to become the foundation of the next epoch of human civilization. Don't you agree? If the future isn't worth suffering of the past, that would make man mere murderers. For the humans that lived in the distant past, the future that man is now planning cannot be accepted. The future that will be a mistake. Humanity has not spent countless lives for the society that is to come, but we cannot reverse time. Since going back is impossible, there is no choice but to move forward. With that in mind, we will recreate the wars in past and revise the history of the last 100 years. By having everyone fight in a war of survival, mankind's consciousness will be forced into the correct path. My wish has become a firm conviction. As the winner of the Holy Grail War, your existence is proof of that. Come again? Wait, hold up. What in the hell is that supposed to mean? Ren looks at me with flames in her eyes, as if demanding an explanation. But I'm just as in the dark as she is. Originally, the Holy Grail War was a way for the Moon Cell to gather data. It didn't even have a name at first. The Moon Cell only wanted the best data samples. Having a war of survival was a good way to separate the chaff. Yo, this music slaps though. However, up until now, the Magi who came here made excuses for their actions, but still killed, then fled. Truly an atrocity. Wouldn't you say? Until I won, this world was buried under a mountain of corpses. Ooh, are those not stone pillars? Are those coffins? After all, being an NPC, I get the luxury of continuing on even if I die. I watched the first fights as an NPC, and when I became conscious, I fought battles of my own, weak though I was. After several dozen fights, I finally reached this elevated seat. After all, my story becomes simpler. Manipulating the rules of this place, I created the Holy Grail War. A battle of survival from which only a single person may emerge victorious. I remade this world into a place where the limits of human potential can be pushed beyond one's imagination. And then you appeared. the weakest master in the tournament, you managed to defeat the king of the world. You were totally unsuited for this ordeal in the beginning, just as I was. As a nameless figure drawn from masses, you become the one in whose hands rests the fate of the world. Your soul being tempered by a crisis and conflict, your new strength is a testament to the potential of man. When mankind reaches the heights you have, they will move forward, clearing a path for those yet to come. I don't know if that was twice or not, but I'm assuming it wasn't. Now, it is time for you to claim the Grail for your own. You've earned the right to show the world the true path. Shout out so that all you can hear, or that all can hear you, say that war is necessary, that humanity can and must evolve quickly. Just input this one little phrase into the moon cells. Don't stop. After that, you can do whatever you wish. Whether you become a king or a god is up to you. You have my blessings, as your choice will bring an endless war. The wounds suffered by humanity after losing countless lives and endless conflicts run deep. And if only the reward for such suffering is stagnation, then humanity deserves to be cast into a new void. Some sacrifices cannot go unheeded. Mankind must be inflicted with wounds that will never forget. I actually understand where you're coming from. As I remain paralyzed by doubt, Rin begins to speak, her apparent calm belied by the heart in her eyes. Your story was interesting, but left one question unanswered. It's about you winning the war in the past. You never once mentioned making a wish on the Holy Grail. Why have her make your wish for you? An excellent question. The answer is that I can't. If I touch the Holy Grail, my wish would be rejected. According to the moon cell, my existence is considered nothing more than an irregular data stream. I can fool the low-level processes, but if I access the core, I'd be seen as an NPC and immediately deleted. My victories would mean nothing. I need a legitimate master, someone who can make my wish a reality. Anomalous data would be deleted. What emotion did her words express? Her mumbling sounded very much like a dejected sigh. The girl beside me shuts her eyes for a moment and then directs her gaze at twice, as if to deny the obvious. That is why I've stopped here. I've been waiting for years at the gate to the core, awaiting one I deem worthy. Upon reflection, it was a great deal of time, or I wasted a great deal of time. I was able to plant the seeds of war on Earth from here by manipulating and manufacturing information. But it was a case of too little, too late. Also, my methods were unreliable and on too small of a scale. Instances of terrorism and violence have skyrocketed recently, so you were the cause of it all? With full access to the moon cell's records and my ability to divine the future, I can bring about Armageddon. Of course, I don't intend for everyone to die. I simply wish to investigate a war that anyone can survive. You can see it through the gate. There lies the moon's core, an object made from the purest photonic crystal. The result of stimulations of the Earth's future run by the moon cell are stored as light within the core. The one who reaches the core has the right to choose the course of the future from infinite possibilities. I'm sure you understand now. Whoever claims the moon cell can manipulate reality as they see fit. This object, which envisions an infinite number of possible futures, can reshape the fabric of reality. If what he says is true, then the Holy Grail could accurately be considered the mind and will of God. Nothing is impossible. It is truly an object of unimaginable power with infinite possibilities. Yes, you do understand. It has many other names. The Photonic Abyss, Angelica Cage, take your pick. You have earned the right to claim it as your own. Now please, proceed. Unleash the perfect storm upon the world to undo the lie of stability, rewrite history as I have said. Twice looks at my direction and expresses an earnest confidence reflected on his face, almost as if he is sure that I share his belief that war is the answer. This man, while despising war and violence, could not ignore the immediate results that war brings. This supposed comrade, who gained the strength through fighting much like I did, clears a path for me. However, Oh boy, the dead only belong in the past. Only those that care about matter to me. I didn't come here to wish for death. I know that war isn't the answer. I honestly can't say he's wrong. Man, I wonder if there's like a choice point here that can lead to a dead end. I wouldn't think there would be. You know, well, I didn't come here to wish for death. Yeah. The masters have fought and died in the Holy Grail. Every one of them had a wish of their own. There were many types of masters, the selfish and the altruistic, the sympathetic and the despised. And each and every one of them was sincere in their desires. I'm positive that this is true of every master. I cut many of them down in battle and destroyed their dreams, and now here I stand. At first, nothing I wanted had any value. I bear the responsibility for all of the wishes that have been lost. The worth of their wishes was no bearing, but to abandon one's dream is an unforgivable sin. Your conclusion is overly sentimental, don't you think? I expected that, but still, give it a bit more thought. Servant, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter. Do you think I'm evil and should be eradicated? Don't be ridiculous. Good and evil, right and wrong, none of those things have any meaning. Those of any substance always move forward, even as they suffer the consequences of their mistake. Spilling the blood of others, even as they shed their own, they prove their worth through their deeds. That is the way humanity has always been and will always be. It is utterly stupid to think that the beauty only comes from the delusional sense of righteousness. Saber speaks to Twice in her normal, indifferent, slightly superior tone, but a slight edge starts creeping in. Good and evil are one and the same. It just depends on which side you are, or which side you stand. Your ideals mean nothing to me. But I do have one question. I wish to ask of you. You claim to have been here for a long time. There must have been others who came before us. What happened to all the previous winners? Good question. Now that I think about it, there should be some sign of those who came before me. Yeah, I bet those stone pillars aren't stone pillars. They were incapable of seeing my point of view. Or more accurately, they didn't see the value of my dream. Twice looks meaningful at the pillars in the surrounding area. His answer couldn't be any clearer. The pillars gathered together are their gravestones. I see. You reward the victors not with garland, but with the poisoned chalice. That fact alone is enough to make you an enemy of mine. Saber draws her sword. Like her, I can't excuse his action, even if it means becoming another stone pillar. I don't understand. Unlike any other human, you are the embodiment of everything I believe in. That might seem to be the case, but even if I walk the same path, our feelings are maybe complete opposite. I must have died in the same incident that took Twice. However, I learned different lessons in my death. Sadly for you, you cannot escape. Only a single master may leave the moon cell once they've made it here. Once the participants have been reduced to one, permission is granted to leave the Seraph. This is the one thing I cannot change. The moon cell has made this rule a fundamental requirement for entry. In other words, there's still you and me. As long as both of us exist, neither can escape this place. So there is no path open to you, but the one that leads to the Holy Grail. And given your capricious nature, I can't relax yet. There's no guarantee your potential will shine through. The world has reached its limit as well. Soon it will be too late to overcome the stagnation of man. However, Twice Peaceman is wrong. If the moon cells automatically erase irregular data, I can't go inside, just like Twice. If I pass through the gate, I will be eliminated. And if Twice somehow wins, he'll gain nothing. In the end, no one will win this fight. But even knowing that, I'm not big on brainwashing as it can end in self-destruction, but your spirit might survive the process. It doesn't matter to me if you resist. If you want your wish to come true, you'll have to defeat me anyway. And such is destiny. At the end of things, this is the conclusion we arrive at. Now then, it is time to bring this chapter in the Holy Grail War to a close. To the victor goes the spoils. This is the way of humanity. Something that will never change.
生死のかかった戦いでこそ人は精神を成長させる人類にとって私は悪であるだが生命とは天秤するもの 善を生かすために子に救いをもたらすために私はこの力を授かった。見るがいい、凡百のサーバント。ムーンセルがその蔵書から私に与えた救いの姿を。来たれ救世の英霊。この世でただ一人生の苦しみより下脱した回答者よ。
That was a lot of rating, by the way. I didn't have a water. I went and got it while that was playing out, but woo, throat's dry. If it is for the purpose of creating the path mankind will follow to Duramata, and thus enlightenment, then I will come forth to grant the salvation to all things, and guide them with the might of Vajara. Boy, those are words I definitely didn't mispronounce. Another. The words of my servant serve to encourage me, and in the end, Twice was right about one thing. There are some things that conflict can help to grow, and the most important to me is the bond that now exists between me and my servant. Regardless of the strength of the enemy or the consequences of failure that I will have in the future, I won't back down. I will face this one last battle with the one who's been with me from the beginning of my side, or being by my side. Oh, the Sharingan activated. The rare savior class. Live or die by the sword. Thrice setting sun. Thunderous applause. Thunderous applause. Guard, attack, attack. But yeah, we're spamming skills here. This guy's got a lot of HP, I feel. Guard. Thunderous applause. Gonna go ahead and MP heal this. Veil of Petals. Break, break. Hopefully this doesn't kill. I should have save stated. That did a lot. Not that hard of a fight though, I'm gonna be real. Alright, well, Don't we have... Yes. Guard. Thunderous Applause, Guard. We'll go ahead and do Fountain of the Saint. Guard. Ow. Alright, well, I think we know what time it is. Theater of the Deranged. Blossom of the Court. Blossom of the Court. Blossom of the Court. Attack. Guard. Actually, we're gonna go ahead and Sakura heal status. I want to. I put the wrong this thing on, so we're not gonna be able to rely on that. If Savior can survive here. Oh, he's not surviving. Not at all. I can hear the sounds of battle, and though I've been defeated many times, it is still painful all the same. But I have no regrets. Just as life is an endless cycle, war too will endure. You are proof of that. Twice, who even now still holds tightly to his beliefs, slowly begins to fade away like all the others. But whether he's following his own rules or those of the Moon Cell, I cannot say for sure. Now, go and touch the Holy Grail. You'll come to understand many things once you do. Wantonly consumes lives. Thriving without a purpose, our future blossoms like a flower by the roadside. Whether that turns out to be right or wrong, I would like for you to see and judge with your own eyes, if we were both truly righteous or not. And in an instant, I thought I saw something that was truly him, but it might have been just an illusion. Without any time to contemplate what was happening, Twice Peaceman passes into oblivion. His servant too will soon join him in the void. Without exception, all life will perish. All living things are trapped in a cycle of suffering and death. The one who sought enlightenment through strength and perseverance still has an untainted soul. But there is more than one path. Just as good and evil have value, the beauty of the world will endure. King of blood-drenched battle, in Nirvana, let us witness the end of the world, for there lies your salvation. With an expression much like his master's, the servant fades away, like a flower losing its petals. The only person to have escaped the cycle of suffering, seen by some as the savior of the spirit of humanity. I see now. He did not support Twice's ideals. Instead, he was showing compassion for the soul of the human known as Twice Peaceman. Alright then, what should we do now? We're gonna ask her a question in a brittle, yet cheerful tone, trying to maintain her aloof attitude. And before you say anything, don't waste your time worrying about me. The moment I lost Lancer... no, the second I entered the Holy Grail, I was prepared to... I try to express my concern, but she only silently points to the gate in the middle of the room. Blit. Her silence speaks volume. As Twice said earlier, the moment that any anomalous data is detected in that dimension, it will be deleted. She refrains from speaking as she is all too aware of the consequences to come. However, even if I am to be deleted, there should still be a small window of opportunity. Time enough to sneak in a modest wish. To extinguish the remaining fires of war that Twice has set ablaze. To put an end to the senseless bloodshed of the Holy Grail War once and for all. The moon cell automation, the very mind of God, I will seal it away so that no one will ever be able to access it again. And also to return her, the last true survivor, safely to her mortal existence. A number of wishes race through my mind, but I won't have the time to ask for them all. I can only ask for the most important of my desires. But any wish I will make will be influenced by the experiences I gain fighting in this war. I make my way to the Holy Grail, the object that is both bane and boon to the one fortunate enough to survive. Oh, it's the Stairway to Heaven. My regret at not being the winning master has never been stronger than it is now. No matter how much I want to force the issue, since I'm not the victor, I can't go near the Holy Grail. With one last sigh, she retreats into silence. I silently thank her for not making an already painful parting worse than it already is, and continue to making my way to the gate. And then I reach out to touch the Holy Grail, the very core of the moon cell. Well, I mean, I really hate what I'm about to say. It sounds like I'm making excuses for myself, but things could have ended worse. I probably would have lost it twice, not due to the lack of skill, but heart. That's why I'm glad you're the one who made it to the end. I want you to know that I truly mean that. I truly mean that I didn't expect this recording to be over an hour long. I really might have to cut it up into parts. I mean, by the time you guys see this, it's obviously the end. But, you know. Before me stands the Holy Grail. I slowly extend my hand and place it on the core of the moon cell. Oh, we're swimming in the digital sea! The instant I make contact with it, I am drawn inside the Holy Grail. To be more accurate, I am absorbed into it, like water being absorbed by a sponge. In the short time before I'm erased from my existence, my consciousness is immersed into the Grail. I can see everything that exists within it, every piece of information, every observation, every conclusion. The sheer volume of information and ideas stored in the moon cell forms an intricate collage that no human could decipher, though I sense a pattern. In fact, I cannot say that Twice's interpretation of human history as recorded by the moon cell is wrong. For war has always brought change, and in this day and age, humanity has mistaken stagnation for peace. Or mistaken stagnation for peace. Blah. And throughout it all, the moon cell continues silently to record what it sees without ever taking action. After endlessly analyzing the data it records, it files away its conclusion and resumes its role for voyeur. It is there, on Earth, that the whole of human existence is contained. Whatever triumphs and tragedies befall mankind in their world, the moon cell continues to silently observe and record. It is that strength, that force of existence, that Twice failed to see and understand. But now is not the time to become emotional. I have to tell the Holy Grail what my wish is. Oh, look at us typing away. Input complete. I was able to enter my wish without a single mistake. I think. Oh, Hakuno. Messing up at the last possible moment. Now, all there is for me to do is wait for the end of my tenacious existence to come. However, oddly, the time of my death doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon. Being one with the moon cell, I share its unique view of time, where infinity can be contained in a single second. So even the briefest moment seems somewhat more drawn out than normal. But even with that, Wait a moment, this cannot be right. Perhaps that man Twice was mistaken? I can hear my servant mutter into the ear. Or my ear. The ear. You know, the one. They aren't there in person, but as part of the Holy Grail. My guess is that my servant had somehow slipped unseen into the Holy Grail at the same time I entered. Don't act as if you just noticed me. It's your duty to be aware of my presence at all times, after all. However, something doesn't feel right. With the war over, there is no reason for her to follow me here. This is your final duty as a master, correct? Then it is only natural that I am present at this time. Especially since it seems as if this is the time when you are in need of my strength. So that's what she's doing. With the additional presence, the time the moon cell needs to finish the elimination process is increased. As is her way, she has come to aid her worthless master one final time. However, a delay this long can't be the result of my servant's presence. Something else must be going on. Since I'm connected to the moon cell, it shouldn't be too difficult to find out what's going on. In what seems to be only a heartbeat, the whole of my consciousness arrives at one long data file. This appears to be you. What does cryogenic storage mean? Yo, we about to be frozen? The info in the data file concerns a patient with a fatal brain disease that affects memory retention, and the only doctor familiar with the surgical procedure used to treat the disease died in a terrorist attack. Oh, so we're frozen in a tube. Interesting. Until another surgeon could replicate the procedure, the patient was put into cryogenic storage. If there is a living human that shares my exact identity, then I may be more than random bits of data. That must be the reason I'm still around. The moon cell needs more time to analyze this new information. But I'm sure that girl didn't come here as a mage. I'm just a copy of a person trapped in an endless dream. Whatever the case, my fate is almost assured. I'm sure that my time here is fast coming to an end. However, there remains enough time to send out one final message. Hey, Blonde Ren! Ah, the Great Tomb. So for anyone that wonders why Aresh being this version of Ren ever has wondered why, it's because of Ren having blonde hair in this game. She's actually not black-headed. What? Sexual.
一発きついのお見舞いすれば目も覚めるだろうし。まあできれば再会の場所はどこかの学校の景色が綺麗な夕暮れの屋上でとかが望ましいけど、それまでずっと待っていてね。約束するわ。
That promise was to both the girl that sleeps and the girl who begins to fade, that once she leaves this place, we will never meet again. And it is because of that promise that I can finally allow myself to be at peace. There's still a black screen for me, so you guys aren't missing anything. Bow, bow, down. So yeah, that's Fate Extra. Good stuff. I really enjoyed this game. I don't know if we can skip the credits. But you know, I guess I can cut them out for you guys. Oh, little Ronnie, creepy. But yeah, this game's a lot more fun than what I thought it was actually going to be. Rock, paper, scissors actually wasn't too bad either. So yeah, kind of like what I said at the beginning of the video. Shouts to Shiki being there. For those that don't know, Shiki's the boss, the extra boss. Glad they put her in the credits though. You know, it's whatever. But yeah, this game was a lot of fun. Next week we'll be starting Extra. I'll probably move it to a 5-day like recording schedule instead of the 3 days like this, just because there's so much to get through in that game, and I want to do the extra chapters as well. Because a lot of them are really funny. Like Lubu's particularly is pretty funny. But you know, we'll get to that next week. Well, I'm sitting here mumbling. I wish I knew. I always hate credits because you never know if you can skip them or if you need to skip them or what. But I'm tempted to skip. I could Google it, I guess. Oh, you know what I could do? I'm an idiot. It's because we have a speed up button on this totally legit PSP. So yeah, well, it's still going on. So I don't know if I'm actually going to cut this into 1 or 2 parts. By the time you guys see this, it obviously doesn't matter because this is quite literally the end. But I have been recording for over an hour. And an hour-long video is a lot to watch. And that is a lot to ask people to have retention on. So we'll see. I might actually have to cut it up. But all in all, this game is a really fun game. Shouts to UBW being there. Arxis Games. Too bad CCC will never be translated, because I would love to play that game. Based on the original work, Fate Stay Not. Interesting. There was no reference to Fate Stay Not, except for like all those Fate Stay Not characters. Fun stuff. But I really enjoyed this game. I can't wait to play through Extra again. We'll see if there's actually anything hidden in the scene. That's cool wallpaper though if you wanted it. I could have made a still image for it. Anything? Yeah. I'm not sure I understood, but do you mean that you have an existence outside of this world? Then everything should work out fine. You are my master. You know what needs to be done, correct? And if you do have my permission to visit me occasionally. Actually, come anytime you wish. I'd be happy to see you again. It makes me happy knowing our relationship won't be ending soon. It sounds like it would be an entail of an incredible amount of effort, though. I sympathize with her for having such a burden, though it's someone else's problem. It's my responsibility. The disillusion of my current self has begun. Outside of the Holy Grail, Ren's voice begins to fade away. As what makes me is compressed into the smallest unit of illicit data. I think on my slumbering self. When she wakes up, her memory will be a blank page, with no friends or family to help guide her. I wonder how that strange new world will appear to her. Nothing about the past will have any meaning. What am I saying? If that's the only thing that to be lost, then I'd be okay. Although I'll miss those that I've met along the way. The world will still be here, and as long as the path before me remains, I will continue to walk it. There are no grades given for goals and wishes, no matter how small they may seem to others. As long as I keep moving forward, they will eventually come to fruition. As it is the desire for that wish to become reality that will keep you going until the end. I have no worries. There will always be those who strive to change about the world, those I care about. I will be able to live with them and eventually move forward into the future with them. I can't believe how promising and hopeful the future sounds. I can't wait for it to arrive. Finn. And that's it. That is Fate Extra. Phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. You can save your progress as cleared data. This data will carry over in certain items, blah, blah, blah. We're going to save it right here. Game clear data. And that did it. I appreciate everyone for watching. And I'm going to catch you guys next time.